Okay, great. We are recording just because there are possibly one or two people that might not be able to be on one of the trainings, and we want them to be able to see it too. So, as we mentioned earlier, we're Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West New Jersey. We're the largest non-metropolitan area federation, very robust, exciting, dynamic federation. And this coming year is our centennial. Starting July 1st through June 30th, we're going to be celebrating our centennial. And as one of many, many things we're doing to commemorate that, we're working with our partner camps, our primary day camps and overnight camps, to create this very special community mosaic. And I say the reason all of your camps are participating is because you are key camps of our Jewish Camp Initiative, and you represent the camps that the most kids from our community attend, and we love working with all of you. So let me just share a little bit of info about the type of project we're doing, and then I'll show you what our actual project is going to look like. Are you guys seeing my screen okay? Mm-hmm. So we're so lucky to have connected with Cecilia. She is a master at many mosaic projects and creations, but she especially has done a lot of communal type of work. These are just some examples of her work. Sorry, that went a little too quick. This is in Hadassah Hospital. This is a beautiful Boston skyline project, Tree of Life. This is at a senior center. So you can just see how beautiful these all are. And Cecilia has done a whole bunch of projects with Camp Ramah in New England, so she also knows camps. This is one example. Now I'm going to just show you what our creation is going to look like. Just trying to find my my screen share. Disappeared for a second. Here it is. This is going to be a approximately 4-foot by 5-foot mosaic. Cecilia is going to tell you more about this. As you can see, representing Jewish camp, and this large visual on top is our Federation logo. And as Cecilia will explain, every camp is going to be completing a part of the mosaic, and then the whole mosaic will be combined together and installed and unveiled at our Federation campus. So we are very excited about that, and it's going to be really beautiful legacy to our Federation's dedication to Jewish camp and our partnership with all of you. So that was my really quick intro. Jamie, is there anything else you want to add about this?
Okay. Nope, I think that's good.
Okay, wonderful. All right, let's see. Yes, and someone asked, we will make the recording available to everybody. Absolutely, great question. Okay, so I am now going to turn this over to Cecilia to she's going to give an overview of what she's going to talk about, and then she's going to jump right in. Again, please put questions in the chat. Any questions are welcome. There's no silly questions. So yeah, take it away, Cecilia.
All right. So I imagine that some of you, maybe even all of you, know what mosaics are and even know how to mosaic, but I'm not going to make any assumptions, and I'm going to go over the basics of mosaics so that we are all on the same page. So this training will cover the basics of mosaics, what is a mosaic, and the basic techniques, and what is this project specifically, what is the project about, and how we are going to make it work and make sure that the kids have fun and you have fun, and that we get to a final beautiful project, considering the fact that we are having lots of groups working towards the same on parts of the same project, and people are in different places. I am not right there, but anyways, I am available all the time. But so how we are going to make it work so that it will look beautiful, and it will. So you will receive a kit, and I'm going to let you know what's included in the kit, and I'm going to explain to you the little details about how to mosaic, and then some additional notes. So what is a mosaic is an artistic technique that uses small parts to create a whole. And mosaics are usually assembled using small tiles that are made of glass, stone, even paper and other materials. Typically the tiles are square, but there are also round, triangular, randomly shaped. And there are two basic methods of mosaic work, the direct method and the indirect method. The direct method is the one that we are going to be working on. Direct meaning that we are gluing the tiles down on the final substrate. Sometimes we don't have access to the place where we are going to install the work, like backsplash, for example, and we don't want to be sitting on the counter for hours, so we work indirectly and then we go and glue piece by piece on the backsplash. That's indirect. So this project, in commemoration of the 100-year anniversary of the Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West, was chosen among different designs. And as Tracy was saying, you are going to receive one rectangle actually of the whole. So this is going to be divided in 16 pieces, one for each summer camp, one of the 15 summer camps, and one for the staff at the Jewish Federation that is also going to make one section. The entire mosaic, including the border, is going to be 4 feet wide by 5 feet high, and your specific section will be 11-inch wide by 14 inches high. Okay, so it's going to be a rectangle like this. And the kit that you will receive will include, obviously, one of those boards and a printed image also of the whole mural. You will also receive the section that you are going to be working on. It's going to be highlighted, as you can see here. Yeah, and you are going to get a separate page that includes only the section that you will receive. So in paper, in addition to the actual board. Then you're going to receive the tiles of the specific colors that you need to use if you are getting a section that is the sun, and maybe a tiny bit of the logo of the Jewish Federation logo. Maybe you'll receive just a tiny bit of blue for the logo, and most of the tiles will be reds, reds, oranges, and yellows for the sun. But for each of those colors, for example, reds, you are going to receive small tiles, big tiles, different shapes, different tones within the same red. You're going to have some light reds and dark reds, etc., to make it more interesting, a combination of parts that will make the whole section more interesting. You are also going to get some Star of David tiles, if that's part of your section. You are also going to get the logo of your camp, for example, this, for Moshava or for Dini Havaya, so etc. We have beautiful logos for you to include in the mosaic. Also, you'll get some written instructions or main notes on how to do what you are going to do. Some glue, some glass nippers, wheeled glass nippers, and some safety goggles that if the kids wear glasses, they don't have to use safety goggles. If they don't, then it's better for them to use them. So this is how they will look like. And also, very importantly, you will get a prepaid label to ship the box back to me. So that so make sure that you save the box, okay, and that you are going to wrap your final mosaic section at the end and put it back in the box with the remainder materials if you have, or if if you want to return the wheel nippers, etc. So how to do it? I am going to change now the camera to show my board here. So can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is just one example of, like, let's see, where is it? Like this section. Okay, so here we have part of the lake and a little bit of the tree here. Okay, that's just part of the tree trunk. The rest of the tree will be here and will be part of a different group. Okay, so here you would make some mosaic in brown, and here you will do blues. Okay, now make sure before you start that you know exactly what's the orientation, right, of this. If it is like this, or it is like that, and it's very easy because you know that it is rectangular and it is vertical. Okay, so you know, but vertical could be like this or could be like this also. So just make sure you know where is the top and where is the bottom, and it will be simple because you'll have the drawing, and you will get this outline already made by me, so that it will be less confusing and you know what to do inside. Before you glue anything down, talk with the campers about what you are going to do and plan the design of each area. So each area of the mosaic, I'm referring to this area of the lake and this area of the lake, that maybe you want to make something here completely random, like, you know, a mix of tiles, and just cover it all with blues. It all depends also on the ability of the kids you are working on. Just the main thing is to make it fun. But you can make a whole mishmash of tiles, and I promise it will look beautiful, even if it's just random pieces all mixed together. Or you can say, you know, how about we make all flowers? Let's do things like that. And we'll make flowers like this, and then another flower here. You know, for example, okay? Now this would be together, or they could be apart, but then you are going to fill all the rest. You want to cover as much as possible of the mosaic surface. Why? Because when this project is going to be grouted, some mosaics are not grouted, but this is going to have grout, which is the background. Yeah, like it looks like a cementitious area. That's the what you see around this gray thing that makes it all cohesive. So if we leave huge spaces of the surface empty without tiles, the grout doesn't have anything to hold on to, and it's more susceptible to break and to to get to some failure. So we want to make sure that we cover all the surface as well as possible, okay? So you can see here I chose blue tiles because this is the section of the lake, yes? And you can see that I have lots of different types of tiles. So even though it's one color, you can do a lot of things. And to tell you the truth, even if you, I mean, it's one color, but you have lots of different shapes, sizes, but even if you had only one, you can also make lots of things, because you can make something like this and then decide that I am going to make, I don't know, like a different, you can make lots of different designs. Now, before anything else, safety, make sure that the kids
Cecilia, sorry,
Yes.
Can I ask one thing or two things from yesterday? Can you show the sample? You had something that showed like kind of like lines,
yes,
like stripes. And you
Sure.
also had mentioned yesterday that people could trace the design on paper and kind
Yes.
of lay out the tiles on paper first.
Right. So
I just wanted to have you mention that.
Yeah, so on the paper that you'll receive, that you can let the kids, you can talk with them and help them design something before you start even gluing. So when we get to the gluing, I was thinking about mentioning this, that you don't have to glue anything down until you don't know at least more or less what you are planning to do. If you're going to do something completely random and mix all the tiles that you received, then that's okay. You don't need to draw it here, although you could, if you want, to get an idea of how it will look, like, you know, one circle, one square, one triangle, one, etc., etc. But you can say, for example, you know what, how about if we make little compartments within the section? So for example, how about we do this and this and this, and then in each of these sections we do something else. And I'll show you an example on this Hamza, for example, where you can see that I divided this in compartments. Here you have two colors, purples and blues, because that's what this kid asked for, but you are going to have blues only. And for example, in this case, but then you can decide that here I'm going to make all random. So of the square tiles that I have, I'm going to cut them in different shapes and make something like this. Or I'm going to, and here I'm going to use smaller tiles, also squares, and do something like that. And you see that even this section that has all squares, the squares are not randomly laid here. They are laid in lines, right? So you can decide that you want them to be like that, and you want them scattered. You see, these are scattered. They are not, I'll show you what scattered means. They are not like this. They are like this. So it looks like bricks, yeah, here. And it makes it kind of more interesting, but it's okay if you want to put them all straight like that. So that's also fine. So now, so that's regarding the design. Yes, whatever you choose, it will look beautiful, because then I am going to grout, and I can choose colors for the grout that will make it more cohesive. And but certain things to remember are that when you have a shape like this, even though you are receiving this outline that defines the shape, yes, it also helps if you cover the edges first. And by covering the edges, the borders, I mean doing this and not, for example, let's do this one, it's a little bigger. Doing this, choosing a straight line that goes along the edge and not doing this. Because when you do that, and then you want to put another tile here and another tile here, then you are left with holes. Can you see it?
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so you have little holes there that make it less clear to the eye. Okay, so you just want to cover them as much as you can, basically, and you know, that's basically it. Now, all the tiles have, I think all of the ones I'm going to send you, yes, they have a smooth side and a side that has ridges. Yes, can you see it well?
Yes.
Okay, there are some of those that are small and it's a little harder to see which one is the smooth side and which one is not. So this is the smooth side on both of these, but when you turn it around, you see that there are a few ridges. Some of those tiles are very little and they have only 1 or 2 ridges. And it's not a big deal if you if the kids glue them down on the wrong side. However, try to encourage them to have always the smooth side facing up. So when you have this, you want them to be like that, and you don't want them to be like this. Why is that important? Because these ridges make the adhesion stronger. That's why they are there. It makes it that it will get stick to the surface better. And there are other reasons. One is that when you grout, and I am going to grout, I saw a question enter there. I am going to grout at the end when I get everything, because I might use different grout colors and I have to make sure that everything looks okay. So you are not going to grout, but when I grout, if I leave all those tiles upside down, the grout is going to enter those ridges, and it's going to be painful, to say the least, to remove the grout from those little holes. There are some projects where on purpose you do one up, one down, one up, one down, like that, and you create, then the grout enters those ridges and it kind of creates another design. But I would prefer if you leave all the tiles, every single one, facing down with a ridged area, like meaning the smooth side facing up. Okay, now regarding, okay, I said about the glue, I said safety, okay. The glue, you are going to receive 2 containers like this with glue, and these are the ones that I usually use here with my students. Take the cover off, and that's how we work. However, these containers, even if they are brand new, they get stuck. So I am going to send you disposable cups and little stirrers like this, wooden stirrers, and you are going to open the whole container and pour a little bit of glue, just a little. Don't fill the container, and not even, just a little bit, because it dries up, and then you can put more. But and then you get the glue. I'm going to put some to show you. 1 second. So you get the stirrer and you put glue either on the tile and you put it down, or if you know that you are going to do all this line in blue, for example, you can also spread glue on all this area, yeah? And do this. How much glue? You put enough for the tiles to grab to the surface, and it's okay if you have some glue squeezing out, as you can see here, between the tiles. However, don't make a big soup and the tiles, you know, floating like carrots, because then it's a big mess and you have a lot of glue on top of the tiles. And if that happens, again, not to worry, because the glue dries clear and the grout that I am going to use has sand in it. So it is abrasive. And when I clean when I clean the surface of the tile, that glue is going to come off. But it will be much better if you don't have a huge amount of glue on top. So when you work with little kids, the kids love to make glue soup and put a lot of glue. So make sure that you pay attention to that. And as I said, if you have a little bit around it, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that it doesn't go up between the tiles and covers the surface.
Cecilia, a question. Can more than one camper work on this at a time?
You mean work on one little section at a time, or
Just in general?
Oh, in general, yes. You'll have like, I would imagine 6 to 8 kids working at a time. Yes. And yeah, definitely. So they have to know exactly what they are doing, and one can put this tile, another will put the second, and yes, definitely. Or one will be working on this section while another is working on another section, making sure that they will get to the right, you know, that they are working on, that they know what they are, what the plan is. So another important thing, you can put the tiles next to each other, not just next to each other, they can be even touching like that, okay? And that's wonderful, and it looks great. Now, probably one of you, if not all, are asking, how about the grout? Is the grout going to show if the tiles are next to each other like this, even touching each other? Yes, believe it or not, these tiles that you see here were touching. These were all one next to the other, not a single space when you see the tile, but the grout always finds a way to enter that little crevice between the two tiles. So not to worry, the closer to each other, the better it will look. However, closer doesn't mean overlapping. So you put it close and you don't want it to go like this. Do you see it? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so you want it to be down. Now, when there is a problem of overlapping, mainly when you are doing, for example, here, you are making this border and you put this here and you say, oh, you know what? I think this one can, if I push it a little bit in, I think I can make it fit. And then you have something, let's see, no, like that, something protruding like that, which is, first of all, it doesn't look good, and it's also susceptible to fall when I grout. So what do? you put it like that. And when you get to this corner, you use the glass nippers. Yes. And you cut. Now, how do you cut? Because we all love each other. We cut towards the table like that and not to the air that the glass can jump and go towards the face of someone. Yes, I will provide glass nippers in the kit, and I will provide 3 glass nippers so you can, like 2 or 3 kids can share if they need to use it at some point, but it's just for the borders, especially because you are not going to get stained glass, you are going to get whole tiles and small tiles. So here I look at this and I say, okay, this one needs to be cut, and it's crucial to cut it. Why? Because remember that you are going to finish your section, but there is another section here, right? So if the other section has tiles going out like that, it's going to interfere with the cohesion of the, like, to make it together nicely. And so here, what do you do? I eyeball it because I do it all day, but you can either eyeball it, because even if you don't do it all day, you may have that 3D vision and you can do it. But if you don't, you can just take a Sharpie or any marker and make a line so you know where you need to cut. Yeah, so you take this and you cut it. Now, this one came out actually pretty well, but let's say that I cut it and it comes off, I don't know, like I'm going to make a little dent or something. It comes off like that. Yeah, not really as triangular as I want it. So you get these glass cutters, they are called wheeled glass nippers, and you start nipping just the edges like that, cutting towards the table, not like that, not up, but like that. Some kids might find it easier to stand up, yeah, to do that. And you nip and you nip. And obviously, if you are in the this wonderful inclusion program, the adults will cut if they need to. And so you nip until you get to the shape that you want. Now, maybe you think that it's not good enough, so you can get, well, I would get my electric glass grinder here, but we don't have that at camp. So you get something to sand it a little bit. Yeah, it's not going to do a whole lot, but it can help a little. And
Cecilia, that can be just a rock, like just
exactly.
a regular rock?
So you can,
okay.
Exactly. So you can just look down at camp and get a rock. Just get a simple rock from the floor and there at camp, and you just do like this, and you make it a little, more smooth.
Cecilia, a couple of really quick questions or things to mention. You're going to be including a couple of pairs of goggles, right, in the kit?
Yes.
So kids should
Yes.
have either glasses or goggles on for this. And what age would you recommend for the snipping? Like what age should that be
Of
for?
course, it depends on the ability of the kids, but in general, I have had kids that are like maybe 7, 8 that cut. But if you have like if they are all like that age, maybe you cut, if you can tell the kids, if you get to a corner and you need to shape the tile, let me know and I'll do it for you. And then you cut it and you give it to the kid and they continue. Yeah.
And just by the way, we have about 15 minutes, just a little time check.
Okay. So
I'm sorry, one other question, just so I don't forget. There was a question of what is the surface? What kind of surface and backing is it that this is all going on?
Yes. So the surface is called WEDI board, W-E-D-I. It is a surface that has a layer of it's foam inside, a special type of styrofoam that is not flammable. I actually had to try it once for one project where they wanted to make sure if there is a fire that this is not going to be, an issue. So I actually turned this piece on fire. I got a piece of that and put fire, and it just gets like this. It shrinks, and disappears. Anyways, it's this type of foam, and then a layer of mesh, alkaline resistant, and cement. Okay, on both sides, mesh and cement. So it's very rigid, but the most important, it is super light, more than wood. So when I work on big murals, big projects, I want it to be not as light, because then you have the weight of the tiles and the grout, etc. And but it is rigid. It's very light, but it's rigid because it has that layer of cement that is super thin, less than 1 millimeter, but it makes it rigid. And the one that you're going to get is only 1/4 inch. That's the thinnest that exists, but it's not going to be the final. I mean, I couldn't have a 1/4 inch in a 4 by 5 feet mural. So this is going to be attached to a thicker board. Each of those sections that you get are going to be attached to a thicker board for installation. Now, the placement of the logos. You are going to get logos like this, as I show you. And let's see, so you have all these different fun logos. And I suggest that you use that as part of your design. So you say, okay, how about I start with this logo is going to be here in the middle of this section, or it's going to be here, or and then I am going to place tiles around it and make like a mandala and continue here and making the lines here, etc. Or you want to put it like here, etc. Now, the board that you are going to get is larger than this. So don't worry, you'll have a little more space than you see here. But one thing I recommend is that you don't put the logo right on the border, because another camp group might decide to put theirs also here on this exact border, and you don't want the two to be like, wait, which one is mine, which one is there? So let's put it, doesn't have to be right in the middle, but let's try to put it more like inside, like here, it could be here, but not right on the border. Okay, then now this is optional, but highly recommended, because you are going to have only 6 to 8 kids working on this. You want more kids to participate. So I recommend that kids prepare ahead of time, before you have this mosaic making day. They can prepare ceramic tiles. I'm sure that you all have some kilns to make ceramics at camp. So you can make ceramic tiles. It doesn't have to be high fire. It can be low fire, because it's going to be indoors. But you can have tiles that, please make sure they are small, so that they don't make up for a lot of the space. They don't take too much of the space, but the tiles would be small, like something like this. These are tiles I use for my pieces sometimes with my name, but I recommend that maybe, this one is not ceramics, but just to show you, it says friendship. I would say tiles that are not more than 1.5 inch, even 1 inch by half an inch at the most, something like that. Just small tiles so that you can have more if you want, and again, so that they don't interfere with the design, because don't forget that you also have the logo and you know, all the other things that you have to do, so you don't want to have a lot of that. Now, how to make it more cohesive and nicer? Make the tiles in the color that corresponds to your section. If you are doing part of a tree and you want to put tiles inside the tree, make them in green. Okay, the letters could be, oh, another thing, so make them color matching, and the tiles, to make it cohesive and not, you know, make a mishmash again, they are all going to be only tiles that say like one or two words, that have one or two words. So they are going to be tiles with writings. Don't make the kids make a little soccer ball or like things like that, because it's going to be too confusing. It could be very fun, but you know, let them do the soccer ball for another project. But for this one, just tell them to do things that say, for example, friends or friendship or Shabbat, music, singing, teamwork, lake, swimming, campfire, dance, anything like sports, things that relate to camp that are fun for them. And remember, the tiles should be small and color, how do you say, color matching? No, that's not the word. Well, that it will be the color that that represents the color that you are working on, and you can put them anywhere you want. You can just play with them as part of the design, right?
Cecilia, a good suggestion, I think I forgot to mention this yesterday, someone had suggested yesterday, was if you could mark on the back of the board which side goes up, so that the camps can just always be keeping in mind which way this piece of the mosaic is going to be facing. That would just help them orchestrate like which direction to have some of those tiles facing that have words or the logo.
That's a great suggestion, and I'm going to write it down. Thank you.
Okay. And by the way, we have 10 minutes. So I also want to say to all the participants, if you have questions, please pop them in the chat so we can cover them. And I know Cecilia is going to take this, say this later, but we are going to be sending Cecilia's email and cell number to everybody. So she is also available ongoing at any time for questions.
Anytime, even at 2 in the morning. No, I'm kidding. So you will be returning the mosaic board once it's done. Don't wrap it the same day and don't wrap it the second day, but even 2 days later, you are okay with wrapping it in bubble wrap if you have, or even paper like newspapers, just several layers to make sure that it is protected. Yes. Now you will get these materials in a box that will say fragile on every side of the box. If those labels of fragile or get smashed on the way, so just get Sharpies or any other type of permanent marker and put write fragile everywhere. Yes.
Cecilia, do you want to come back on video? Do you want to face the camera up? Yeah, there you are.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, it's all good. All good. All good.
Hi again. Can you see? Okay. So yes, that's one thing. Another important thing I wanted to let you know is that because this is, you know, we have all those outlines and we have to make sure they align, etc. Then I want to make sure that if you have two tiles one tile is from one camp and this other is from another, and that they align well, but maybe for some reason one from one camp is like this and the other camp is here. So I might most likely will make some little changes here and there. So I will respect your design, of course, and will try to keep it as close to what you did, but I might, if I see a lot of tiles that are upside down, I will try to turn them around, those type of things. I told you about the box, and I will grout the whole mural with most likely different types of grout, because I love grouting with different types of grout. It makes it more interesting. And here you have just one example where I grouted with purple, red, yellow, orange. Oh, you don't see, sorry. So you see here like purple, red, orange, etc., in the same piece. Now, this is an example where I put the tiles a little too far apart, but you are going to try to put them closer to each other. If you have any questions before, during, or after the Mosaic project, I am available all the time. Even if I am not in town, we are nowadays with our phones all the time, and I can respond as soon as I get your message.
We appreciate it. And Cecilia, timing wise, you want to receive it back by the end of August, correct?
Yes.
End of August.
And I am going to ship this kit that I'm preparing probably by the end of this month or very first days of June.
So we're planning to ship the kits to camp. I know we've had one camp that actually asked to ship it to the home of the art specialist, and they're going to transport it with them. If for anyone has, for some special reason, would like it shipped somewhere other than camp, please let me know.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Any other questions? People can, we have, yeah, thank you, Cecilia. You covered a lot, and it's actually a few minutes before 11, so very efficient. Why don't we just open it up verbally? If anyone has questions, just come off mute and pop right in with a question.
Oh, I don't know if I said, I will also send a prepaid label to ship it back. So you will receive that inside your box with the kit. You will get a label that you will attach and be able to send it back to me.
We will, by the way, we would love to get pictures or even videos if anyone wants to do one of those, what do you call those, time-lapse videos. That would be like super, super cool. So get your like photographer and videographer involved. We'll mention that to the camp directors as well. But that would really be like so super cool. All right, any questions from anybody? All right, you were so thorough, Cecilia. We can't wait to see what this is going to look like. It's really going to be amazing.
The only question that I have, if we supposed to use only the mosaic, the whatever it's called,
the Sarah, yeah, the tiles,
or we can the tile, correct, or we can put like some different one.
Meaning others that you didn't
color,
receive from Cecilia?
Yeah. Yes.
I suggest Mira, right? I
Yes.
suggest that you send me a pic of tiles that if you want and are fun for you and that you didn't receive for me and you think you would like to use them, maybe send me a quick picture so that I can make sure that they are appropriate for this project.
Good idea.
But in general, I would think that you'll get a lot of different type of tiles from me, but obviously if there is something special that you have and that you think that would match, then by all means, just send me a picture to make sure that it's good. And in any case, this is for indoors, so it's less. If it were for outdoors, I would tell you directly, let's not do that, because you have to be very careful in the type of tiles that we use, especially for New England weather. But yeah, send me a pic and we'll make it happen if it is appropriate. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else from anybody? We really appreciate everybody taking the time. I mean, also for all of you, you're not even, working in your camp jobs yet. Well, a few of you are year round, but for the art specialists that joined us, we really, really appreciate your taking the time to join this call in the off season to get to hear directly from Cecilia. And we're really excited. Thank you all for taking part in this.
Thank you, Cecilia. It was
Thank
very
you.
interesting.
My
and,
pleasure. Thank you all. Looking forward to keep working with you.